I am going to talk a little bit about trends in communication and tee up Love Animals to talk about another way to really engage with consumers around sustainability. So normally I would have time to go into all three of these elements, but I'm really just going to talk about the trend from brand as hero to brand as facilitator here. And this concept is really less about a brand being a hero, but also engaging and empowering your customers to use their purchasing decision to live out some of their greater values so that their profits and their purchasing really goes back to communities and the environment. So the three main questions that we often talk to companies about asking themselves is, what do my customers care about? What are our shared hopes, dreams, and concerns? And how can we be an enabler to help them manifest those shared values? So there's an interesting story, and I wanted to show this slide because it came up in our last webinar last month, and it was provided to us by New Earth Social Hotspot Database. So I should say that I'm making a big assumption here. If you look at where our hotspots are that are related to pet products, this was about our social hotspots. So that's China, India, Cambodia, Vietnam, Mexico, and the US. And that's where our biggest impacts are in the pet industry. So I'm making a big assumption here that where we have our biggest social impacts are probably also where we have some of our largest environmental impacts. And what does that mean? So what do our customers care about? Most basically, I mean, our customers care about a lot of things, the environment, people, but we know that they love animals. We know that they really care about their pets, and that probably extends to other animals. So it's an interesting story that pet products and the pet industry have these impacts in these other countries, and those impacts mean impacts to their wildlife and animals. So all of these species that you see here have been impacted through the processes that it requires to bring pet products to the shelves. And it's an interesting story around sustainability. So our next question is, okay, what are our shared hopes and dreams? How do we look at that story and turn it around to a positive story? If you look at these two species, on the right you have the Himalayan wolf, on the left you have a husky. And how do we change the story of the Himalayan wolf is now an endangered species due to many of the impacts in its native lands? And some of those impacts come from creating food and toys and products for animals that we love and care about, who are our companion animals. So what are our shared hopes and dreams around all animals on this earth? We know that we want them to be happy, to be treated well, that the companies that we choose to purchase from are more than profits. We know that we want them to have access to food and shelter. We want products that we feel good about from farm to factory. We want to encourage play. So all of these things are shared hopes and dreams, and I think there's a great opportunity to look at how can we leverage our company to give back to this issue and talk about this story and bring this story into our companies. So again, this is just one story around sustainability.